What's up? Welcome to what could be my last YouTube video.
Aww.
And my last video is going to be about reclaiming my childhood, which was basically made out of books, because I am a nerd. So today we're going to be talking about rainbow magic. This may or may not be a series, like Rainbow Magic and then Wings Club, and then maybe the Tia Sisters, if you remember that. Yeah, like basically I'll be talking about media I enjoyed when I was a kid. Plan is that next I'm going to be talking about the outfits that I enjoyed. Then I'll be bringing up some questions I have about the Rainbow Magic universe. Never thought I would say that, but I did. And then thirdly of all, I'll be talking about some of the companies, the publishers, more recent like marketing strategies that I dislike. I saw this blog and it's filled with some hot tea. I'll put it in my bio so you can go check her out if you want to discover more about Rainbow Magic lore. But yes, in case you didn't know, the main plot of Rainbow Magic is that the antagonist, Jack Frost, who is like ice magic, supposed to be ugly, even though we all know that if someone drew Gijinkas of him, he would be hot, and lives in an ice castle and basically just tries to ruin the fairies' lives on a whole. We'll get into why he does this later. But so what happens is that usually he steals something that doesn't belong to him, and then he chucks it out into the world. He's like, alright, they're scattered. I don't know why he doesn't just keep it, but... So he scatters them, and then the two main characters, who are just normal girls, have to help the fairies find the items back. Okay, so now I'll be talking about my favorite outfits for each fairy. So the first one's gonna be Haley the Rain Fairy. What can I say? Her hair is wavy, she's wearing blue, she's got that bandeau top with like the high-low. Okay, it's not a high-low, but like it's an interesting skirt. I have seen a lot of boring skirts. For example, the Hwa Chong school uniform. Next one is Lucy the Diamond Fairy. And the thing about her that I like the most is that they actually incorporated her pattern into the dress. Like you can kind of see like little detailing where it's like diamond shaped or something like that. And you know, that's what makes it a good dress. While I'm on the topic, I'm just gonna shade Phoebe the Fashion Fairy because her fashion sucks. Like her dress is plain. And do you know what that is? Not showing your personality. Like, I cannot stress this enough, but she has so much potential. She was a party fairy. Party fashion is interesting, and she was like, I'm going to wear a white off-shoulder dress. Just let that sink in for a moment. Okay, like even Lucy the Diamond Fairy is outclassing her, and Lucy isn't wearing like dripping jewels or something, because that would also slap. I just wanted to say that the dress itself is fine, but I feel like as a fashion fairy she could have done a lot better. Now we're moving on to Summer the Holiday Fairy. She's a special fairy, and we'll get to what that means in a bit. But basically, instead of having just one object, she has three, and she has an entire like thicker book to herself. Is Kylie the Carnival Fairy. You know those like carnival like things that they usually put in like period era like mangas, where like there's a pole and then it's like colored strings and you need to like run around it holding one of the strings? That's what her skirt reminds me of. Anyways, moving on, we have Chrissy the Wish Fairy. She's also a special fairy, and I know it's like simple and this is the kind of thing that you would see in like Santa Claus cosplay, but it slaps. It's cute. There's like a little detail. She even has a belt to accentuate her waist. Okay, now we're going to move on into the questions I have about the Rainbow Magic universe, which is a phrase I never thought I would say in my life, but here we are making YouTube videos about it. So firstly of all, like I said just now, there were like normal fairies. They come in like a series of like 7. So like at the end of like the 7 fairies book, like all the objects get reunited together and the fairy kingdom's safe again. But like there are special fairies with 3 objects? Is there favoritism in the fairy world? Like, what are these ranks? So the special fairies have 3 objects, and they also get holographic book covers. Like, what does it take for you to like work your way up to being a special fairy? Or are you just born with that kind of privilege? Yeah, there's a fairy king and queen, but the special fairies are like supposedly on the same rank as all the other ones. So like, they're not really managers, because they just manage their own domain. So like, what quality do they possess that allows them to be special? Also, my next point was going to be that some of the fairies' domains kind of overlap. For example, the first fairy is Ruby the Red Fairy. What she does is she controls red. Sorry, the airplanes. Okay. She controls the color red. So basically, if she or her magical object is kind of like gone, the entire fairy kingdom like starts to lose the color red. Isn't that kind of a big deal? But also at the same time, she doesn't really have a magic object. She just kind of exists. So does she just need to exist in order for things to have color? And is that her job? Like, just to exist? Like, no offense, but I kind of want that job. Can you imagine just getting paid to exist? Also, apparently, Lucy the Diamond Fairy... Yeah, I've been looking through the rainbow magic lore. Lucy the Diamond Fairy's job is to teach fairies to fly. But her magical object, which is the diamond, if it gets taken away out of the fairyland, the fairies lose their wings. Like, they cease being able to fly. Like, is that not really important? Like, why does she have a bodyguard or something? That thing should be like a national treasure. Okay, moving on, I'm gonna talk about Jack Frost, who is like the antagonist in this series. Also, I read this book, okay, Summer the Holiday Fairy, as we mentioned earlier, where his ice tower melted in the summer, so he stole Summer's items in order to make his own amazing sandcastle. Stealing aside, isn't that like a pretty big problem? Like, if your ice castle is gonna disappear every single year, maybe you'd find a better place to put it, like in a place where it's perpetually snow, like the North Pole. Like, also if you were in the North Pole, he can't see what the fairies are up to, then he won't FOMO and get jealous and steal their shit. So I think he should really just have a year-long retreat to the North Pole where he's got like the zen to go think about what he's doing with his life. So moving on to the tea. So for some reason, I was on the Rainbow Magic wiki, and there are contributors and they write blogs about rainbow magic. So I found some things that I think are pretty shady, and the entire thing honestly just boils down to the publishers of Rainbow Magic wanting to profit. Okay, for example, now they have like a squishy animal fairy. I'm pretty sure there's a slime fairy out there. Hey, I've just been editing the video and I realized that there is a loom band fairy and a mermicon fairy, which is a mermaid and a unicorn mixed into one animal, and there's a fairy for that. So if that doesn't scream, I'm running out of ideas and just trying to capitalize on current trends, I don't know what does. But also, what I want to point out now is that they have a boy band fairy. His name is Jay. So I went to check it out, and apparently he is the first boy fairy, because he's a guy, because it's a boy band fairy. And I was like, hold up. Yeah, I get that boy fairies can exist because there's a fairy king, but like, why is he the first one after like, what, 5-6 years? Like, where did the rest go? Do they just not have jobs? So I went to do research, and basically the explanation is that the boys are on the other side of the fairy kingdom, and their job is to play with the royal children. So like, the girl fairies are just out here being like, oh, I'm a cake fairy, or like, I'm a glitter fairy. While the guys are just like preschool, nursery, kindergarten teachers. The royal children are going to grow up. And also, they didn't exist at some point in time. So what exactly were all the boy fairies doing in that period of time? Or like, what, when the kids grow up, they're just gonna become unemployed? Like, there's gotta be some purpose to their existence other than taking care of the royal kids, right? Like, how many boy fairies are there? 2? For 2 royal children? Is that it? But Jay is a boy band fairy, so clearly there's gotta be like fairies that are in charge of the kids, and then fairies like Jay who have other duties. So like, why haven't we seen them? Next thing is the caring fairies. Basically, they took like this existing series of like fairies who help firefighters and nurses and paramedics. Then they combined this into a book and they called it like the Caring Fairies series. And they are like rehashing the old fairies into a new book with the exact same plot. Like, it's just those individual books now combined together, and they're like using the marketing of the coronavirus crisis to market this book because it's about like, you know, nurses and paramedics, which I think is just so, it's a yikes. Like, why can't you just make like books that are specifically targeted towards it, you know? Like, you can write about doctors, or like even like the researchers who are trying to find a cure or something. Also, there's this like newer series also, which is about like the environmental related fairies. There was an earlier series, but that was apparently like pretty okay because at the end it wasn't like global warming just got cured. It was just like, oh, it will be okay for now, but in order to make sure it stays okay, you have to do all these things that are supposed to like help our planet. But the recent series apparently just went, oh, okay, now that we have reclaimed all our magical objects, the world is safe again. And then that was it. Like, you can't just say like, whoosh, there's no more global warming now because we found our magical conch shell or whatever. Like, that's not how it works. So yeah, I'll be ending today's video here. If you have anything interesting you want to add, you can put it down below. I don't mean to insult Rainbow Magic at all. I genuinely enjoy the franchise. I just think it's very strange that they want to market things so blatantly without trying to like maybe put in the effort. So now, like, that they've created so many books and they all have to be coherent together, it's very interesting to do research and see like, oh, this is like what they've shifted towards, or like, oh, they said this in this book but it doesn't really translate well to the other books. Much to think about. Thinking out loud. That's the end of today's video.